What's up, guys? What's going on? I'm Paul. This is Pauline Theology Daily Devotional, and we're going through the book of John. We're in John chapter 12, 14 through 15. This is Trust in Jesus Ministries, and I hope that through reading the scriptures, learning about who Jesus is in this unique way, as we study through John, you are beginning to trust in him a little bit more. And if you've been following along with us through the beginning, man, we have seen so much of the character that he loves incredibly, and that he deeply cares and has compassion for his people, that he seeks to bridge gaps between those who seem to be at odds ends with each other, and that he seeks to demonstrate all of this because not only is this his heart, but this is the heart of the Father, the one who created all things. And so I believe and I hope and I pray that this will help you to trust in Jesus more. We have other stuff on our website. Check it out, trustingjesusministries.com, and you'll see some writings, some videos, podcasts, other things that help you trust in Jesus more. If you are interested in trusting in Jesus more, if you love what we're doing here, press the like button or comment or put something in uh, the comments on the podcast, or you can donate over at Trust in Jesus Ministries as well. We have a place that says give to help us support our ministry and our main ministry, which is going out and sharing the gospel with people in van life. But let's jump into what this is about. Jesus. So if you haven't read yet, John chapter 12, 14 through 15, stop the tape, see what it has to say, come back, and we're going to answer the questions. And if you have, let's get into it, man. So what's going on here? Well, we got the answer or the reply to what the crowd has been doing. Jesus replies with his actions. He finds a donkey, a lowly colt, and he sits on it. And then he goes and he enters into the city in that capacity or in that manner. And so what this shows is John, he's going to reveal to us, because it's the fulfilling of the scripture. Jesus is fulfilling prophecy here. And it says that, fear not, daughter of Zion, behold, your king comes, seated upon a colt, a lowly donkey. And so this scripture comes from Zechariah. And what that scripture entails is peace happening. That peace comes. That there is going to be a shalom, a complete, a wholeness that's going to be restored because Jesus has come. Because Jesus has arrived. That's what what Jesus is doing. As they're yelling out and proclaiming him as king, he's saying, yes, I am king. I'm affirming this. But I'm a king in a different way. I'm a king that brings peace. Now, this peace is predicated on the destruction of his enemies. He's going to wield a sword. Oh, yes. Because he is going to destroy sin, Satan, and death. But he does it in a way that we can't imagine. Now, we can imagine it now, but them beforehand, it was not the way they would have thought about it. It is not the way that they would have understood it. And we're going to see in a couple of verses later where they proclaim it like, I thought you were supposed to be forever if you're in this position. And so I think in the last episode, we talked about how the crowd was one way and then turns another way. That might be some of the reason that it happens, is because Jesus wasn't going to live up to the expectations that they had thought that he should be doing. But Jesus is doing it the way he sees fit, the best way, the way that will save. And so what does this say about God? Well, it says that God brings true peace. He is the King of peace. He is the one who can actually manifest peace in this world, because he is going to bring together everything under submission. Everything. He is the true King. And his kingdom is a kingdom of peace. And also that he will bring about this peace by the defeat of sin. that God defeats sin. And what does this say about man? I think it's saying that we can find safety and hope in this kingdom. He says, fear not, don't worry. It says, because your king comes. And for us, that should be words of peace. When we recognize that Jesus is the King of peace, then we know that we can find our refuge and safety in the one who can actually bring peace. The one who can actually bring about the salvation that we proclaim. The one that we yell out, Hosanna, where we can find our salvation through Jesus. How do we apply these truths to our lives? The question becomes, where do we find our peace? Where do we find our security? Where do we find our hope? Where do we find our salvation? Do we find it in the things of this world, the things that will pass away, or will we find it in the one who truly brings peace, the true King, King Jesus? Hey, I appreciate you guys for listening, man. And I thank you. And one more thing I'd like to say is that because he feels some of this prophecy, that is the reason why we can have trust in him. Because he's doing everything he said he would do. That's one common thing I think that you have to recognize and read, or recognize and understand as you read through scripture, is that God does the same things over again because he is trustworthy. He is trustworthy. And so we are finding that Jesus is just doing what the scriptures have talked about him doing for all of these ages, man. So I pray that will help you trust in Jesus more. I appreciate you guys for listening, and I'll see you in the next episode.